You gotta be freaking kidding me.
Giving you a voice.
Making it loud our own way.
Welcome to the fun.
We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting fun so we can continue to make content for you. Stryker makes some of the most revolutionary medical equipment and is a big supporter of FIRST and its participants. If you are looking for an internship or career that supports you being in FIRST, check out careers.stryker.com to learn more. You can also directly support Fun by joining Fun Nation. Click the join button, and just for a few bucks a month, you'll unlock special perks and directly support us so we can keep making great content. If you're on an FRC or FTC team and you're currently meeting safely in person and have a functional robot, we'd love to have you on our Behind the Bots or Behind the Bumper segments. Go ahead and reach out to us on any of our social channels, on Discord, or send us an email at admin@firstupdatesnow.com, and let's get your team scheduled to be on First Updates Now. All right, First fans, it's time to talk about this big bombshell announcement that First has dropped on us today, and that is the canceling of 2021 Worlds for all programs. And we want to talk about what that means a little bit and why it's okay to be frustrated with what's going on for things. I'm frustrated with that. Now, there's some saving grace with it as well, too, but we got to dive a little bit deeper into this. Let's take a look. So, First released this announcement today. It ain't a lot of fluff like anything. It's fine, but I want to cut through to a couple things that I really want to talk about here. The first is talking about the statement here of the past few months, we've continued to evaluate the scale and viability of hosting a 2021 First Championship that met health, safety, and international travel guidelines. Due to conditions created by the pandemic, we're unable to host the events as planned. Totally get that. You know, the pandemic's starting to make a nice turn in the States here, or a better turn, I should say, than what we've seen. We know a lot of other countries are handling it differently, and in areas like Australia and Taiwan are pretty much back to normal and could hold events at any time for things. So, you know, I get that. You know, Worlds has always been held in the U.S. It's very difficult to book a venue far in advance to have a maybe for things to potentially cancel, especially as the pandemic is, hopefully we're starting to get out of that with vaccines coming through. I can get why canceling an in-person event makes a lot of sense on things. But let's keep on moving on here and going down into this FAQ and a couple things that are pretty important to look at, especially for FRC as well too. I want to comment on a couple things with this, and that's going to be on here in regards to what is known about the ability to hold off-season First Robotics competition events. And they're saying we're evaluating the possibility of off-season First Robotics competition events that will provide further guidance in April. Well, a couple things to comment on that is that, one, there's already events that are going to be happening in FRC that aren't supported by First in April that are already starting. They're going to be announced soon if you don't already know about them. They're going to be using different software than what the traditional field management system that First is using, but there's going to be events already. So I'm curious, two things. I'm glad that First is open to having unofficial events that are actually supported by First, or off-season events that are supported by First and their field management software. It makes it easier for things. So I'm glad they're open to that. But it's already been done anyways. The events are going to happen. So I'm glad that First is kind of coming on board, but it's already going to happen for things, regardless if they want to officially support them or not. So glad to hear that they're at least open to that. But once again, it's already happening as we move forward. Another one on here that I want to talk about was the consideration of a scaled down First Championship. And will there be any virtual remote alternatives, specifically the virtual remote alternatives? This statement really irks me a lot here. Of saying we are exploring different ways to celebrate the accomplishments of our teams, and we'll share more details with our community as they become available. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, you've known about this for a long time, First, that this could be a distinct possibility, and you're not going to announce this in conjunction with canceling Worlds? This is the same stuff they did last year, and this is what bothers me so much, that the most prestigious organization out there, the one that's been around the longest, just doesn't seem to fully have their messaging intact for stuff. And Vex Worlds is a go. They've been planning virtual all along, and I think you could plan on virtual and in-person as well too, and have a plan for it. And it really bothers me that the RAC Foundation, who runs Vex, seems to have their stuff together and already has a full remote event planned out. Meanwhile, First This is like, well, we'll let you know if something happens, if we come out with something. Why aren't you telling us now? Why isn't this planned for now? Why hasn't this been going on for months to have a plan B in place to say, okay, we're ready to make the decision not to have Worlds. Here's our plan for remote events. Now, I know what I would say if I was first. Well, we want to let the people know as soon as possible so they can cancel the travel plans, that sort of thing. I get that. But are you really telling me that you don't have a plan in place for a virtual event at this point? You've had months to prepare for this. You haven't changed anything really with FRC for the at-home challenges. I'm sorry. The at-home challenges are something that's unique and can help teams, but in general, it's not a full new challenge for teams to really modify. So what are you doing with all this other time? I want to know what's going on with that and why we haven't seen a full-fledged plan for remote events. Like, in my opinion, this should have already been released a long time ago saying, hey, if we're not going to have a live Worlds, this is the plan for remote. This is how we're going to make sure teams are recognized. And this is how we're going to make sure that teams feel valued in this program for things. You know, things like the Game Design Challenge, Innovation Challenge, once again, are neat things to have, but aren't going to be able to really bring first to the pinnacle that it should be in these programs. So teams, I'm going to tell you, keep your head up still and hope that First has a plan with this. But if you are in an area where you can, start to do things in a safe manner, consider how you can do stuff either virtually already. There's some teams that are already running virtual events. FTC's been doing a great job of running virtual events and even some in-person events as well too. Keep considerations open for things. And First, hopefully there'll be some sort of world recognition for things. I know that a couple of the Discords already are considering things. The FTC Discord has been talking about doing this, their own type of world championship thing. Michigan, or the MTI, the Maryland Invitational has been looking at doing something which is like the IRI equivalent of it. So I hope that there's something like that for FRC as well too, for those who want to participate safely in a matter, especially when we start to look at, July, August, September. There's possibilities for it. Now, First is saying, this is the one other thing that I think is quite interesting, is that First is mentioned, I'll see if I find it here real quick. Here we go. That in June is when the season's over. So this is really interesting because that really tells me they're not going to be supporting events past June. And we also heard a rumor as well too that China was interested in running a live event and First told them that there's a possibility of doing it, but it has to be done by June. Otherwise, they're not going to support it. So it's really interesting to see on why June is the cutoff all of a sudden when they're looking at doing Worlds so much later anyways. Why not just let them run events in July and August that can be officially supported by First? So I don't quite get that. Let me know your comments of what you think. Like I said, not a big surprise that the live in-person event is potentially canceled of scale of this, but I don't know about you. I'm disappointed that there's not a robust plan already in place for a remote Worlds that we can start to consume, and then we can start to analyze and see here, okay, this is how we're going to plan as a team, that sort of thing. So let me know in comments below what you think, and hopefully we have better news for you the next time something like this comes out. We would like to thank our friends at Stryker for supporting this video. Stryker is looking for current and future First alumni to join their internship program, and First mentors who are looking for a great career with a company who actually supports their First journey. Go to careers.stryker.com to learn more. You can also directly support Fun by joining Fun Nation. Click the join button, and just for a few bucks a month, you'll unlock special perks and directly support us so we can keep making great content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow. And check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.